I can't believe I am saying this, but Epic Universe has just released Express Passes, which means opening day is almost here. I can't believe I'm saying this. This is honestly kind of surreal, but we have a lot to get into. Universal has just released a lot of new announcements. It's released the Express Passes, the VIP passes, the Darkmoor Makeup experience. We have so much to cover today, but we're going to be going through all the lands. Is it worth it to get Express Pass? I know it's going to be available as soon as opening day. Universal ain't messing around, and neither are we, so let's get into it. So, Ashley, we are finally here. Can we just agree that we are just equally as excited as everyone about Epic Universe opening? Like, Express Pass, once that, we've been waiting on this announcement for a while.
We have been waiting on the Express Pass announcement because I almost feel like if you're going in May or pretty much any time when they first open, it's almost like a given. It's just like, oh, I gotta get those Express Passes because I have to be able to use them. And I keep thinking, like, are there scenarios in which I wouldn't care to use the Express Passes or I wouldn't need to use the Express Passes? How are you feeling about that, especially with everything like opening up? Like, are you still feeling the same way of like we have to have them, or do you feel like are there ways we can get around it? What do you think?
See, that's one thing that we are here to talk about today, and I know we had like plenty of conversations about it because I remember when we first started speculating, thinking that, okay, are they going to have Express Passes or are they not? Because this is kind of new. I mean, it's a new theme park. I don't think Universal Studios Orlando opened up with Express because, I mean, I think Hagrid's just now got Express Pass availability just now.
Honestly, Hagrid's doesn't even have Express yet. Velocicoaster just got it not that long ago.
Yeah,
so that's the thing. Universal tries not to just kind of kill the vibe of their rides by adding in the Express Passes and making the lines longer for the ride, unless they know that the ride can actually handle the demand and it won't hurt the standby line. So this is definitely going to be interesting, being that Universal doesn't have anybody to test this with the Express versus standby and how much that'll make that longer. So I'm really interested to see how this is going to work.
And I guess we need to start with which rides will not have Express Pass. So this is officially on the Universal website. You can check this out yourself. Express Pass will not cover everything. The only two rides that are excluded from Express are Minecart Madness and Ministry of Magic. So take that what you will. There could be different reasons why, but
honestly, I mean, like we said, Hagrid's does not have Express yet, so it doesn't surprise me that Ministry of Magic doesn't. I mean, I expect this to be an extremely popular ride, probably almost, if not more popular than Monsters Unchained. I don't know, that's up in the air with people. Let me know which one you guys like more. But I definitely think that with the Express, or not having the Express, I don't think it'll hurt anyone because Minecart Madness, it is a part of EPA. So you can go, if you really want to go early and get that in. And then Ministry of Magic, I mean, I think there's single rider.
there definitely will be single rider, but that's an interesting point too, because we do get Minecart Madness for EPA, and so they're already kind of throwing an opportunity. But just to put in perspective, the Express Passes are available now, opening day, and this applies to you if you're going opening day. Well, congratulations, and now you get to choose if you want to spend $369 for Express Pass added on to your theme park admission. And any day after that, I believe it starts for us, we're going on the 23rd, so $264 that day.
Yeah.
Around $260 is what you should expect. But here's the thing. It is a pretty decent amount of money. And if at $260, if I'm not mistaken, in the month of June, where there's still more tickets available for single day Epic Universe as of right now, those tickets go for $164. So let's go land by land, and we want to talk about what the rides are. I think we know at this point what we're expecting at Epic Universe, but I want to see for ourselves. Like I said, by the end of this video, we're probably going to talk ourselves into getting Express Pass, and I'm trying to avoid that. So let's start with Celestial Park. Celestial Park, we know we have technically 3 attractions. We have Astronomica, the splash pad, the Constellation Carousel, Stardust Racers, and we have free reign for Express Pass there. Now let's start with Stardust Racers.
I would say no for Stardust Racers only because it is a part of EPA. Now, if you're interested in going over to Super Nintendo World instead for EPA, then I would say yes, because obviously you're probably not going to have time to do both for early park admission. So, I don't know. This one's kind of up in the air. I guess it really just depends. If you're planning on going to EPA, then I would say no. And if not, then yes.
I think the EPA just adds a huge monkey wrench in this whole thing.
But it is only those two lands. So, and Minecart Madness is the only one that doesn't have Express that you can use it for. So,
yeah, but it's only 2 lands, but those 2 lands equal 6 attractions between the 2 of them. Technically 5 if you're taking Astronomica out, but yeah, I mean, and also, wait a second, no, not 6. We have 4 because Minecart Madness is not included. So you do have Super Mario, like in Super Mario Land. You have Bowser's Challenge as one of the attractions that you can use Express on, and as well as Yoshi's Adventure. And I guess finishing off with Celestial Park, so Stardust Racers, you wouldn't use Express Pass. You don't think you need it because we have it for EPA. Okay, what about
Constellation Carousel?
And it's a carousel, I mean. That's cute.
But you're right, though, because that's a good chunk of the rides in the park.
Yeah. I mean, that's like the first 2 things that you see as soon as you come into the park. And, I mean, Astronomica is a splash pad. You get wet. Cool. No Express needed.
And, okay, so I will say if you're going to early park admission, it's probably going to be a lot to try to get your way to the front, because I mean a lot of people probably plan on going to early park admission. That doesn't really guarantee that you'll get to see every single one of those when you get in. It's kind of like, what's your first priority and what's maybe your second priority if you can fit it in.
And of course, none of this matters if you have Express Pass. There's no priority system. It's just I'm going to get on everything.
Exactly.
So there you go. But speaking of Super Nintendo World, let's go over there. We have Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge as one of the rides for Express. We haven't been on the ride yet. I think every Epic Universe video we've ever done, we've always said that we're kind of not as excited about that ride.
But we know some people that have said that this ride seems to be better than the version in California, which piqued my interest because I almost wasn't. It's not that I wasn't excited to get on this ride. It's just compared to everything else in the park, it's just like, okay, I might be able to skip this one. And after talking to some people who've rode it, I'm like, I don't know if I can skip this now.
Yeah, I think in general, you weren't really looking forward to much in Super Nintendo World in general because you know what to expect. Yeah. But it's pretty incredible, isn't it?
Yeah. I changed it. It quickly grew on like my top favorite.
So we haven't seen the entire park, but there are certain sections of Epic Universe that we have been able to check out, as well as the other team members who have been in the parks as well. And so we have a few thoughts on a few things that we've been able to experience. We haven't experienced everything yet, but that's just one of those things that we can, in our experience, just say, definitely worth checking out, because at first it was like we'll get to it when we get to it kind of thing, but definitely might be
It's
sleeper.
A must-see.
It's a must-see.
It's a must-see.
Yoshi's Adventure, another one that we haven't really done yet, but it's just, I would probably use Express on this one, and the reason why is because it's a slow omni-mover attraction, I think we know at this point, and it does, it can or cannot break down frequently. And if it does, that's a ride that you still want to be able to experience everything, but you also don't want to wait a super long time for it. The queue is beautiful.
Exactly. Oh, it's amazing.
But the thing is, it's not something that I'd want to spend a lot of time on. So that's the whole point of getting Express, is freeing up your time. Now, moving on, out of Super Nintendo World, we now have our favorite place in the park, Dark Universe. And Dark Universe, you can use Express Pass on everything. Both rides there. So Dark Universe, if you didn't know already, has 2 attractions: Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein Experiment, and Curse of the Werewolf, the roller coaster.
So this is huge that they are going to be letting people use Express Pass on Monsters Unchained, because it is an e-ticket attraction, just like Ministry of Magic, which is not getting Express Pass. This is insane. I think this is the most anticipated and the most talked about ride in all of Epic Universe. So this is a big deal that you're going to be able to skip that line. The only thing that almost deters me from wanting to use Express is the queue. I feel like seeing the queue, because everybody knows when you do Express Pass, you don't get to see like the entire queue of the ride, but like, oh my goodness.
That goes for single riders too. Usually the single riders line isn't the same as the normal queue.
So you don't get that full experience.
Yeah. It was years until I even saw the full queue for Forbidden Journey, because I've always done single riders on that.
Exactly. And if Universal does anything right, it's their queues. So I'm almost willing to just stand in line for that at least once, so I can see the queue and experience that myself, because I feel like that's going to be just as good as the attraction.
It's one of those moments in history where you feel like you have to do it at least, like you said, just one time. Because I remember I went through the entire queue of Gringotts Bank. I went on that ride. I think the second day it was open.
It's beautiful.
6.5 hours I waited for that thing. And I got to know that ride inside and out. So I would never do it again because I've done it once. And that's another thing, too, that you have to keep in mind. If you ever come back into the park, you've waited hours maybe for a ride, chances are that may not happen to you again the next time, but at least you have a good frame of reference. You feel like you really experienced the attraction. So if you ever in the future want to do single riders or express and skip those parts later, then that's totally fine. I'm okay with waiting in the queue for that.
I feel like that's where the storyline is going to be set up. That is where the storyline is always set up. So super important to me to see that queue at least once and not do express if I can help it.
And Curse the Werewolf is next on our list here, and this is an attraction that we've gotten to personally experience and
use the express.
It is a fantastic ride. We love it, but I do think that it is a little on the short side, as you probably know by now. But, because a ride is shorter, when a ride is shorter, you don't want to spend a whole lot of time waiting for it. And that's where Express could really come in handy. Because at first, this was a ride that we were thinking about skipping.
We were, but after experiencing it, I will say this is probably the best family coaster that I have ever been on. It is on the shorter side, but it is extremely, extremely thrilling.
Yeah, and I think, it's debatable between that and Minecart Madness, but
I know. I also feel like it's two different kinds of coasters, if that makes sense. I don't know.
Very different,
right?
Yeah.
So I almost don't even want to put that in the same category.
So I would go with, just by pure ride duration alone, it might be good to have Express Pass. But now we're out of Dark Universe and we're going to Ministry of Magic. We're going to Harry Potter. So the e-ticket attraction in this land does not allow Express Passes. We covered earlier. What does that mean for you, Ashley?
Like I said, I am a big fan of seeing the queue. We have not seen it yet, but I've heard people who have gone through there and say it's absolutely amazing. So I can't wait for that to happen. I do think this ride is going to need Express eventually. I mean, I don't know though, because if it's anything like Hagrid's as far as capacity wise with being able to get people in, there's a reason why Hagrid's does not take Express right now. And it's just because the wait time would just be ridiculous. Hagrid's is on average, about 2 hours?
Usually about 2 hours.
About 2
I don't think
hours.
I've ever seen it too many times below 80 minutes.
You have to get really, really... You got to go to an Orlando Informer event if you want to go and ride Hagrid's.
Speaking of Orlando Informer, as of right now, and even trying to prepare for this video, we could not access the Express Passes on the Universal site. And we've been using Orlando Informer's site as a frame of reference. If you are looking to do Express Passes, we would highly recommend Orlando Informer for going through them, because it looks like that's the easiest and most direct way to secure some Express Passes for the day that you visit Epic Universe, especially if you already have your ticket. Now, going back to Ministry of Magic.
So they don't have the Express Pass, but the show, Le Cirque Arachne, man, I hope I didn't botch that.
Le Cirque Arachne.
Le Cirque Arachne.
Right.
That show, it does have Express, which is really nice. I can imagine there's going to be some kind of crazy elements and just really show-stopping things in that show that people would want to be up front and close to see. So it makes sense that they would be able to get in first, get the priority seating that they would want to do. Oh, but you're not a fan of stuff like that, right?
I'm not a fan in general of thinking that I need Express Pass for a show. Because the way I see it, especially in theme parks, if you think about the Eighth Voyage of Sinbad, if you guys remember that show, would you rather have a close seat or a farther seat back? Because you remember how they used to go out into the crowd? There was different, you can see the entire set the further back you sat. The show was actually better the further back you were because you could see everything.
I guess really we won't know this answer until we actually see the show, because not every show is like that. Some shows it's just like you want to be right up in there so you can see everything in detail. If they like, you know how they like to pick audience members and you're just like, oh, they usually pick the people that are like sitting right up there in front, so you really don't know.
Well, I don't know if they are going to pick audience members. We haven't heard anything about the show. We haven't seen it. But
yeah, not in the show, but I just meant Universal in general. Like with the Animal Actors show, you know how like they'll usually pick a kid that's like sitting right up front, stuff like that. I feel like usually they go for the people like that are right up front.
I guess we'll have to figure it out because, like I said, I'm of the opinion that I don't think I need an express pass to get a closer seat to a show, because that doesn't mean that you won't just because you don't have express pass. You just simply have to get there a little bit earlier before the show starts.
Very true. Do we need it? No. But will I use it? Absolutely, if I have it.
Might as well. But that is the only two attractions, or should I say the only attraction in the Ministry of Magic that we can use right now for Express. So that takes care of the Wizarding World. And now we head over to How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk. And it's all fair game over there. Let's start with the first one, Dragon's Racers Rally. I had the chance of experiencing this one as well. And I would definitely say use your Express Pass. The ride is not very long at all. Kind of like Curse of the Werewolf, and I would say this is even shorter than Curse of the Werewolf. And so if you even see a 30-minute posted wait time, I would probably just go ahead and use that Express Pass because it is very short. Great attraction, just very short. Now the next one, let's just say Hiccup's Wing Gliders.
I would totally use it.
Yeah, totally use it. And see, I don't know, I haven't been through the queue for this one, but I don't know if there's going to be a lot to see. Maybe there are some hidden details that really tell the story. Kind of like we covered before.
I have heard great things about this ride. And what people were comparing it to some ride. I almost can't remember which one, but it was like one of the heavy hitters, Hiccup's Wing Gliders. Was it Velocicoaster they were comparing it to, saying
No, that's Stardust Racers. But
no, but I mean, I remember people like putting it on that scale of like, this is amazing.
Apparently Hiccup's Wing Gliders is very good. So with it being very good, that naturally means that it needs to be used with Express. I think that's just a given right there. I mean, that's the whole reason why we pay for Express. This is the reason why we're paying double the ticket price, because we want to get on those e-ticket attractions.
Exactly. I predict that this is going to be the most popular ride in How to Train Your Dragon.
I think it already is at this point, especially online. And then, of course, now you have Fire Drill. Fire Drill is the slow-moving boat ride where you shoot the targets, and from what I've been able to see, I would use Express. It is a family attraction, and honestly, if you didn't have Express, I'd be okay with skipping it altogether. It's for a very specific audience, and if you really want to experience the attraction, by all means, but just know what you're getting yourself into. But it's not a reason to buy Express Pass.
We're not big on water rides, so I feel like we just, we'll do it if we have Express, and if we don't, and it's less than 30 minutes, we'll probably jump on it just to experience it. But we're not huge water ride people, so...
Yeah, and that is, again, something that is totally up to you. Personally, we wouldn't do it, but we're on a mission, okay? Come May 23rd, we're on a mission. So we know we have to take full advantage of EPA. I don't know if it is worth it for us to get Express Pass, only because at that point, especially being pass holders, and we don't know yet, but it's only a matter of time until Universal does something with with your annual pass.
That is our biggest hope.
And that's our biggest hope. So it's like if we're going to pay that much money, I think we might as well just pay for another day at Epic Universe. And it seems like the fall is going to be, right now, it's the cheapest time. I think the tickets are $136 right now on average for a single day ticket at Epic Universe. As of right now, I think from September, October, those months, around the start of HHN, it's cheaper. And those ticket prices fluctuate, so you might want to just always check back, and depending on how you plan your vacation, could be a good time to go. So that was it. We pretty much covered all the different lands, all the different rides, and basically, if we think it's worth it for you to get Express, of course, you do what you want, but that's a pretty hefty price. So choose wisely, especially if you think that you're ever going to want to visit Epic Universe within the same year. Definitely do so. But one thing I did want to cover as well is the fact that you can do that for a single day, or you can also add a multi-day as well for your Express Pass to the other two parks with 1 day at Epic Universe. That's kind of how that works, just like the original rollout of the ticket purchase options. Now we need to talk about the newest addition to Epic Universe tickets, which is the VIP experience. And boy, I just found out, I learned something new today, is that the VIP experience is very expensive. Wow.
Oh my gosh. So they say that they have tickets starting at $389. I have not seen that on the website. I looked through all the months that they have. Don't see it. The lowest price I found was for $400, but that doesn't happen all the way until I think September, October. Those are like the lowest prices for that. Right now, all of May is pretty much sold out except for the last like 4 or 5 days. And those prices are starting at $650 for the VIP tour. That includes 4 hours. You do get a pass to get on. Basically, you get an express pass for all of the rides afterwards. When you're finished with your tour, to get on each ride once, any of them that take express, and you'll get, a special guided VIP tour. You'll get to go and learn some things about the park. I would imagine this is going to be very similar to the one that they offer at Universal Studios, just catered to Epic Universe.
And I would say they definitely put the P in VIP. That P stands for pricey, because that thing is expensive. And I mean, I don't think it's even a question of if it's valuable or if it's worth it. Like, I would do it if I had the money.
If I had the money, I would. Now, keep in mind, this $650 price tag does not include a park ticket. So you have to have a park ticket plus the $650. So
I was today years old and didn't know that. And because you see the VIP tour, you're thinking, okay, the thing is really expensive. It's probably included. No, it is not. It is an add-on. Yes. So if you got the money, then by all means do it, but just know that that's how much you're looking it's going to run you. And I think it's one of those once in a lifetime things. So if you're not going to come to Epic Universe, if you're not coming to, say, the next 5 years or something like that, I'd probably do it. I would
100% do it.
One other thing that Universal announced as well was the Monster Makeup reservations. So you do have to reserve. There are different pricing structures there. So you can do the single experience only with just the makeup. That is $45. And then you can also do the full extravaganza for, I think, $169. I think it'll fluctuate every now and then. And it's a
little cheaper for the child's ticket too. So that's always nice.
Yeah, and so that is one of the things that they have available. It is also on the website. We just wanted to mention that as well. Of some of the we can't even keep up with Universal at this point. They've announced so many things.
Universal also added the photo pass that you can have, and it's basically you pick from 1 day or 3 days, so you can get it for $89 for 1 day and $129 for 3 days. I think that's a steal to have all of your memories captured at Epic Universe.
Yeah. That's one of those again, that's the thing that we don't take advantage of too much right now because we're pass holders.
We don't, yeah.
And of course you get discounts when you're a pass holder for the photo pass, but that's definitely something that for Epic Universe I would highly recommend doing and looking at as well, just because it takes all the guesswork. And for people like us, for parents that got a bunch of kids running around, there's only usually one person that can take the photo, which is usually me in this case, but it'll be helpful to have somebody else to do it for once, and I think it's totally worth the price to have that inclusive for my entire day there. Do we think it's worth it to get Express Pass? I know that was kind of the whole point of what we wanted to explore today. Broke down all the rides, and let's see what Ashley, I don't know, what do you think? What's your opinion?
So I feel like there's two different scenarios here. I feel like if you are coming down for vacation, this is like your one and only time to be able to see Epic Universe. You don't really have much chance to see it. I would 100% get the express passes. If you're a local and you know that you plan on going to Epic Universe more than once, or even if you only have 1 day planned, but you have the opportunity to go, I would just put that money towards more days at Epic. Maybe plan to do like 3 or 4 rides one day, 3 or 4 rides another day, and just kind of like take everything in, go to the restaurants, walk around. Like, there's just so much to do. I don't see the point in trying to rush everything in 1 day if you don't have to.
I would say again, from just brief personal experience, don't underestimate Super Nintendo World, because that is a theme park within itself. It will literally eat up a lot of your time. And I think that's a big reason why it's even in early park, including early park admission.
Oh, yeah.
And in my opinion, if it comes down to getting express, I fall into the camp of, I would agree completely. If you're coming here and it's a once in a lifetime thing, you got to do it. You got to get express pass, because there's going to be a lot of people. It's going to be busy, especially those first few months, especially going into the summertime. The tickets are wide open right now for the month of June and July. Now, I'm sure most people don't want to come, and they're starting to get a little bit smarter as far as the heat and Florida and the summertime. And I think that's why the tickets haven't completely sold out yet. But from what we're seeing online, October seems to be the month, like around HHN season. That's when everybody's coming. But I would probably say hold off on it, or just invest that money into another day at Epic, or invest that money into multiple days. That's the reason why they did it. I think Universal did us a favor in the beginning by having us say, like, hey, if you guys want to go to Epic Universe, get multiple days. And they did that I would like to think, for a reason, because you're going to need multiple days to really take in this park. And this is not something that you want to rush. This is a moment in time.
You want to go through each and every queue. You want to see those details. You can't really skimp out on stuff. I don't feel like this is the time to do that.
Yeah. And Epic Universe is an experience. If you haven't been online, I wouldn't start now, because, boy, there are some spoilers out there, but it is a super exciting time. I think it's just a good time to be a Universal fan. And if you grew up going to this park, if you just discovered for the first time, this is something that we can all agree is the most exciting time that we'll probably be living through in the history of theme parks right now.
In our lifetime, at least.
For sure. And if you enjoyed this video, let us know. Let us know what you guys would do. Are you getting express? Do you think it's worth it? Do you think double the ticket price is cool with you? Let us know. I mean, and if you want to make a donation, let us know too, because we'll definitely be happy to have express passes on the day that we go. So, and if y'all are serious, I'll be taking some donations. But nonetheless, if you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe and join the family. We are growing, and we have grown tremendously this year. Thank you guys so much for all of that. And we look forward to doing more content and going Epic Universe pretty soon. Hopefully we see you guys there, but we'll see you in the next one.